Hello, it's Alex and welcome to Hey Little Thrifter. Today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in August. Back in July I started reading the final book in the Dark Tower series, which is Stephen King's epic fantasy series. This has been sitting on my shelf for a good few years and it was finally time for me to pick it up and finish the series off. And for whatever reason I just wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't getting into the story and I decided to put it down, take a break from it. It ended up being a good idea for me to put it on pause for a little while because when I came back to it, I loved it. So I don't know what happened, but once I picked it up again, I've been really enjoying it since then. So I'm now about 2/3 of the way through and I did end up putting it down again in order to step away and read some other things because it is really long. I am hoping to get back to this in September and finish it off then, so I'll kind of have read it over a few months, but I'm happy with that. Sometimes that's just the way you get through certain books, is to not read it all in one go. So hopefully I will be finishing this next month and I will let you know all about it then. Then I read a book on my Kindle and it was The Party by Elizabeth Day, and I got a copy of this for free from NetGalley. And this came out, I believe, earlier this month. I think it was around the middle of August that this came out. So this is a mystery suspense story and it follows the main character Martin, and it tells the story from a couple of different perspectives. It follows him in the present day and it also has flashbacks to previous periods of his life. There are also parts told by his wife Lucy, and it opens up in a police station and Martin is being interviewed in connection with some kind of incident, we don't know what, that happened at his best friend Ben's 40th birthday party. So throughout the book we learn more about Martin and Ben's relationship, and they were friends since school. Martin was from a poor background, but he got some kind of scholarship to go to the fancy school, and that was where he met Ben, who was, you know, good looking, charismatic, came from a very wealthy family, and Martin somehow managed to become friends with him even though they had very different upbringings. They have been best friends ever since, and now it's coming up to Ben's 40th birthday and of course he's throwing this ridiculously lavish party along with his beautiful wife Serena. So throughout the book we learn more about what happened that night and also more about Martin's past and how he and Ben, you know, forged their friendship and how they have had this relationship over the years. The story definitely intrigued me and held my interest throughout the book, but the downside for me was that the characters were all so unlikable that I just found myself not really caring what happened to any of them. And that was a shame because I otherwise did really like the writing itself, and I liked the structure of the book with the different time periods, different settings and the different perspectives. I felt that there was a lot of build-up and it was fairly anticlimactic, unfortunately. So I did enjoy this while I was reading it, but at the end it was just like, it's over, and I haven't really thought about it since. So I gave it 3 stars out of 5. Next up I picked up Slumber Party by Christopher Pike, so all the parties this month apparently, and I picked this one up just because I was going to a water park one afternoon, so I just wanted something fun to read while I was lounging by the pool. You know, one that it wouldn't matter if it got wet or if someone wanted to steal it while I was away from my lounger at any point. So yeah, I picked this little guy off my shelf, one of my nostalgic YA reads, and this one was actually Christopher Pike's first book, and it was from 1985. And this tells the story of a group of teenage girls, and they're all going on a vacation together to do some skiing. So they're all staying in this big house in the middle of nowhere, and there's a storm coming, so you know something terrible is going to happen. And as the story goes on, a past incident involving all of the girls is revealed, so something that happened when they were younger, and this then comes back to haunt them in the present day. I was just expecting a fun read, and that was exactly what I got. So it was kind of silly, but it was entertaining, and yeah, I got exactly what I was looking for. The characters themselves were all fairly flat. The backstory was actually quite interesting and fairly dark, but the rest of the story was somewhat predictable. I did guess part of the reveal, although saying that I didn't guess the full thing, and yeah, it was just a fun one, and I gave this 3 stars out of 5. So that was everything I read this month. Let me know what you're reading at the moment, or if you have any recommendations. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!